Hello everyone, I'm Razgris, and this is Vault Hunters 3rd Edition on the recently released Update 15. So, Vault Hunters is a mod pack based around an action RPG. The main goal of the game is to play through the vaults and to gain loot and gear, and then to eventually defeat an end boss. So, in this playthrough, I'm playing it through a Skyblock-like version, just because I like Skyblock. So, Vault Hunters does have a quest book, which can also be accessed through, by default, the keybind I believe is H, where you can look at your character and other stuff, and also get to this quest book. The quest book is pretty good, but still a work in progress. It also goes through some of the settings you can change to customize your play. There are skills and talents that we can get. And the first one we can look at. So we have abilities that we can use these skill points on, or talents. For this, I'm actually going to pick Vein Miner, though heal is a very important ability as regeneration is turned off in the vaults. But since I need resources more than I need to survive the kinds of vaults I'll be running at first, I want Vein Miner so that I can get items more easily. And then in the keybinds, you can actually specify what abilities is for a keybind for each ability that you can pick. For instance, I have Vein Miner on an F, as that's where I usually keep Ultimon. So, for Sky Vaults, we use raw crystals to get the materials that we need. You get these from a budding crystal, which works the same way as budding amethyst does. And then with that, this quest is done. But now that we have the crystal, we can run in and start progressing through. I'm actually going to ditch all this stuff here. Interesting. Pretty sure I was in survival. Hopefully I didn't miscreate my game mode when I started, but I am in survival now. I do leave cheats on in case I come into something that's breaking. Super strange, all that stuff I just dumped off is now back. But this is the first vault we'll enter, which is a raw vault. The bottom left has a timer, which does not start until after you leave the room. And you also have a map, but not access to any waypoints by default. You can change that, as it is a game rule, but I'm going to leave this as a pretty, as everything is default for this playthrough. So, like most Skyblocks, first thing we need to do is punch things. And I'm just gonna gather a pickaxe worth of stone, as having access to scaffolding blocks is also useful. I'll probably end up finding more of this later on the way out. So one thing to note is that at these vaults, you do want to leave, as it'll just save some of the experience you'll gain. So what you'll end up running into is these, what's referred to as a POI, point of interest, throughout the vault. And inside, we have chest full of items. Now, some of these items are just decorative junk loot that are just good for decorations. But this is also how we're gonna get everything we need to progress. So that is a hardened chest. And then there's two other types that can spawn in the raw vaults. One of those happens to be this, which is a flesh chest, which apparently was an epic one. And there's also what's an enigmatic chest, which can also provide some very good loot that will make progressing a lot easier. And then there's different mobs that spawn in the larval. It's basically just vanilla mobs. Let's see, I don't need that. That's not useful. I'm actually going to get rid of the 2 quest books. And then, as you can see, inventory management definitely becomes a problem pretty quick in a Skyvault. Okay, whoopsies. And that's what happens when you don't pay attention to time. Yeah, that was kind of embarrassing. I apparently was not keeping good enough track of time and ran out of time, and thus died. But we did manage to get quite a good of a haul out of this vault. So for the first 20 levels, you don't you keep everything you have on you. But then after the first 20 levels of or Vault Hunter levels, not Minecraft levels, you get to keep your gear. So it's not the end of the world, but at the beginning to die in a vault. And we can see the crystal already grew back, so as soon as I offload stuff, I can just run into another one. And then I am also playing with the OBS's buffer mode, or replay buffer, to catch the clips, as there's going to be quite a long chunks of time though with nothing really interesting happening. But I'm hoping with using clipping, I can catch important moments. So for the next vault, I'm gonna work on some of the quests. First would be I'll probably try and find a chromatic iron room, which will also allow me to progress to the next quest, which requires me to mine some vault stone, create a vault altar, and to progress through the mod. The vault altar is what we use to make crystals to enter normal vaults. And this just needs a couple of simple materials. The vault enchanter is how we can get enchants easily, and it just needs an enchanting table, which they can either craft or find in the vault. There's potions that we can make that will allow us to restore health, but they do need some of the materials from regular vaults and gold to make golden apples. There's a pouch that we can make to store the soul shards we get from mobs, and then just some of the other items that we'll go over later. So this is a chromatic iron room, which is where we will get lots of the chromatic iron that we need for the quest. And it also has access to a lot of these. And that's one of the quests done. That's the other. And what we need from the vault stone is the vault, which you can only get from naturally generated vault stone. Inside the mine chest, you can find these compressed rocks. Waste myself. A lot harder to keep track of where you're going in these vaults. So, after that failure, I'm gonna skip the vault altar and make the vault enchanter. Just because this will make it a little bit easier to get some resources. Then what we need to use the enchanter is just emeralds and XP. So for this one, and then this will, well, I'm going to grab some other resources while we're in the vault. One of the things you want to do though is grabbing lots of miscellaneous things like grow lichen, as it can be found as one of the recipes for the vault crystals, which once I get some obsidian, I will show how to use. Where we can get a bunch of different crops. And they all spawn with a different assortment, which makes this one a good one because melon is kind of a pain to get otherwise. Run into a sand room, mine it off. In the Sky Vault, it's a lot more annoying to get sand when you can't go to a desert. And you will need glass for the potion, and potentially for other things as well. Okay, I failed greeted that one. Okay, let's get some more lava going. Okay, so first enigmatic chest. Which isn't bad. This is a very expensive thing to craft. Okay, well, that wasn't too bad with getting for the Enigma chest. Alright, it doesn't break down the raw vaults correctly. So, with the gaining of 2 levels, I am going to put one point into heal, which does what it says, and then 1 point into strength, just to make it a bit easier to kill guys. Whoops. Gotta actually click the wrong button for heal. And then I now also have the items needed to create the Vault Altar. Which unlocks a new quest. And then the next quest is just to do a Vault Crystal. So, to get the Vault Crystal, we have to take one of these Vault Rocks and put it on the pedestal, and then submit the required items. If you hold Shift to sneak, it'll show you what the names of the items are. Oh, then once you have all the items submitted, you just need to provide it a redstone pulse, in this case by a button. And then you get your first crystal. Beast. A pouch! Literally one of the things I was looking for. Probably the most powerful thing you can get actually in here. The ways of pouches is that you can open them. You can also open them from here, but you can hover over it and hit B to open it. You can right click to open it, or you can put it on your back and open it with B. Okay, so with the larva created the crystal crest. That's interesting. So, and we're doing a vault crystal, or a raw vault, completed the quest. I'm not gonna question it. Let's do the chanting quest. So, we can continue on some of the other quests. So we can make some vials. I'm gonna make the... Oh, do I have enough food? Oh, nope, can't make it. I don't have the Essence of Diamonds yet. Okay, well, let's start our first actual vault. While I'm doing this, I also happen to be watching Iskel stream. So, the objective of an Elixir vault is to basically just root stuff and fill the bar at the top. I'm gonna wait a moment before I start running out to let the dungeon load as well. And this is a west-facing dungeon. Let's hope I can remember, because I'd like to actually complete this. And then slimes, as you can see, poison cloud. So these are wooden chests. This is one of the types that you can get. Kind of like your basic chest. And then you get different mob spawn at each of the different points of interest. And then these are ornate chests. And then coin piles are one of the currencies. Pylons give you effects. And then when you complete the elixir, this is how you get out of the vault, is by right-clicking. So, we also have a specialty over in this game. Or gems, rather. And these are them. And I completed my first vault. And then in regular vaults, you get a completion crate, along with experience. And then there's breakdowns on what you did. And as the reward, you get different items. So you get the vault gear and weapons, along with gems that you use for customizing tools. So I'm pretty happy with these rules. Ability power is spells like Nova, Fireball. The ability, though, it'll tell you in the description what kind of ability it is, and which abilities benefit from attack power, ability power. And then item quantity and rarity, do what you think, gives you more rare items and just more items. And then, I didn't go over it in the dungeon, but there are different types of mobs, have different categories. Champions are like mini-bosses. The spiders are assassins. There's horde zombies, etc. Let's just test out the damage. Give her a diamond sword. 15 DPS on a single target. And then a couple points more, depending on how the damage rolls. A worthy upgrade. I highly do not recommend Soul Speed. It and other themes, it's very disorienting. So at level 5, and every 5 levels after that, you gain an expertise point, which you can use for any of these. Angel requires level 50, but it gives you creative right, or an item that will grant you creative right in an area, which is nice. It is an expensive block, so make sure you have the stuff to make it before you take that one. Fortunate gives you extra levels of fortune. Unbreaking is just what it says. Experience gives you more value out of XP. Bartering, reduced costs from vendors. And shopping pedestals inside vaults, which we don't think we get yet. And then there's Bounty Hunter, Artisan, and Divine. So, for now, I think I'm gonna use Fortunate, as having more fortune when you break things is pretty useful. So I think for one of my abilities, I'm gonna take Javelin, as it's based off of your weapon, which means it can take a talent to also make it work. The shocking on our weapons. And that's what it looks like. And then there's also some specialties for it, which you can have it do piercing, which does what it says, and then scattering, which when you throw it, it hits something and then it splits into different items, or different javelins on the first impact. I think I'm gonna pick piercing, as it's nice to help hit some mobs. Okay, champion! Yay! Then the soul pouch. What the soul pouch does is it still stores your soul shards. And doing that, you get the reward as of a pouch, pickup upgrade, and avoid upgrade. But then shields and Vault Hunters works differently. They're passive. They actually block, have a chance to block on their own. Make a loom, and then we can make the bounty table. So, bounty table, you interact with, and you get the option of doing a bounty. And you get a reward for doing so. They range from doing things in the dungeons, mining ores, gathering certain items. It could be a kill quest. Sometimes it's an item submission. But you always want to have these active. Do that, and then that expertise bounty hunter helps reduce the cooldowns, and it allows you to have 2 bounties at once. I'm gonna call it quits for today and figure out what exactly I want to do next. I'll probably run some more raw vaults to try and get some more materials in between episodes. But thank you all for watching, and have a great day.